Hey guys, for this block by block in Red Power, we're covering microblocks. Yay! So, basically, the fundamental tool you need to deal with microblocks is a handsaw. Now, there's three different levels of handsaws. There's the iron handsaw, and this can cut soft things: dirt, clay, wood, and wool, that type of stuff. And if you put this in here, you'll notice you'll get slabs and so on and so forth, but we'll cover that in just a second. The second level is a gem handsaw, which can be green sapphire, ruby, or just normal sapphire, which again are found underground from the Red Power World generation. And these can cut up hard things like marble, iron, glass, so on and so forth. And the final level being the diamond, and the diamond can cut up diamond blocks, it can cut up obsidian blocks, and these actually do have durabilities like normal tools. So you can see every time I use it, its durability is going to go down a little bit. Also, keep in mind that you can craft microblocks back together into their larger representative, which is quite handy. So microblocks have a couple breakdowns. You saw that if I cut this vertically, I would get these diamond slabs. Well, if I cut those diamond slabs up, I would get panels. And if I cut that panel up, I would get covers. So you can just kind of cut it down into smaller versions. So it goes slab, panel, and cover. And if you craft together covers in a little circle like this, you'll get these hollow covers, which we'll go over in just a little bit. However, if you cut these things sideways, cover, panel, or slab, you'll get these little guys: the slab strip, the panel strip, and the cover strip. And if you cut those guys up sideways again, you will get these little corners, and we'll go over placing them in just a second. And also, if you put one of these strips into the crafting grid, you will get pillars, which are just basically the same thing, except they get placed in the middle of the ground like this. So you'll see when you have a microblock in your hand, you get this nifty little UI, and it just kind of helps you orient it correctly. And you can place multiple microblocks in a grid. So you see these are all in the same block. We have that panel, that strip in that corner, all occupying the same space. And in fact, let's just throw one of those down for good measure. So you can see you can get these pretty neat little constructions using microblocks. So the main use of microblocks is hiding things. So you can see in this one block right here, I have a jacketed wire, just completely concealed in one block. And you can also put it directly over a wire. So here's a wire, and here's a cover. This wire and this cover occupy just exactly one block. So it makes it really easy for hiding your wiring. And then when it comes to these fancy little covers I talked about, notice that when these come out of a microblock, it leaves kind of these unsightly gaps. Well, if you put a cover down, there you go, the wire now perfectly comes out of that hole, no problem. You can't see down into what was underneath it. But aside from their ability to hide wires and their need in some crafting recipes, as you saw in previous episodes, they also make great decorational blocks. So you can see here, using a couple of panels and strips, I went ahead and I made myself a fancy little chair. Pretty nice, pretty nice. Koalas would be proud, I think. And we also can make, nice little borders. You can see that these strips are actually on the outer side of this block. So if I had just left those, let's go ahead and rebuild this from scratch, and you can kind of see where corners come into play. So if we take these strips and put them on this outside of the flower, because sadly these strips cannot go in the same block as the flower, you can see it leaves these little undesired corners, and that is where these corner blocks come into play. You can go ahead and just place them down, and they will complete the corners for you, and it will look like you have one solid border around this nice flower. So that is microblocks in a nutshell. At this point, we have basically covered all of the bare essentials of Red Power. We've covered the basic machines that you need to get things. We've covered power generation, storage, and transportation. We've covered the red alloy wires, and now we've covered the microblocks. So now we're ready to start getting into fun stuff. So I hope to see you guys in the next episode. Don't forget to check it out. And until then, toodles.